Surface Warfare Officer, and presently Industrial Engineer at TI. Ernest, thank you.
Thank you very much, Town of Little Elm, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so pleased to see so many people out here to honor our veterans. I'm Ernest Lineberger, a retired naval officer, specialized in nuclear power, qualified for command, served tours on multiple warships, including the aircraft carrier USS Nimitz. Those were times of service, long hours, few personal comforts, and hard work that required dedication. Thank you for allowing me to speak to you on this occasion as we celebrate our veterans. As you know, Veterans Day is unlike Memorial Day in that today we celebrate those still among us who have been there and back in service of our country. The original proclamation by President Woodrow Wilson in 1919 emphasized peace and honoring those who served in World War I. November 11th became a federal holiday in 1938. As an American, a veteran, and a person of service, I'm here to briefly voice with you and for you some special words to meet this occasion. We've all heard and said, "Thank you for your service." That is both cliche and very meaningful. Let's change it up a little bit. I honor your service and strive to do my part to pass on a better, more peaceful world to the next generation. Okay, that's too long. The meaning is there. Let's shorten it up. Now that we know what it is we mean to say. In honor of your service, we are dedicated to peace. Say it with me this time. In honor of your service, we are dedicated to peace. Thank you. Now, remember that for the big finish in about 5 minutes. In my mind, that is what veterans want. Peace and continued peace with the blessings that brings. Abroad, at home, in our homes, in our driving, in our politics, in all things. We need to be dedicated to peace. Those who have seen war with its destruction and despair do not yearn for more of that. They want to know that their effort and sacrifice will continue to pay dividends of dignity and well-being for all, not just the absence of war. As a young man, growing up during the Vietnam War years, peace was a common utterance. Unfortunately, the way it was stated didn't always convey respect and appreciation. We are dedicated to peace emphasizes the promise to work diligently for peace, now and into the future. Peace is not easily attained nor maintained in human endeavors. It takes work, intent, sacrifice, and more. Yet it is worth striving to achieve. When I was young, my father was a Navy chaplain. We traveled a lot, lived in a lot of different places, and interacted with a variety of people. As I grew up listening to my father's sermons, my faith developed. It can be boiled down to love your neighbor, and we are all neighbors. This is key to achieving peace. During portions of my father's career, he was positioned on a warship off Lebanon, working to establish peace. Later, in my own career, I too was stationed in a warship off Lebanon, working to establish peace. In between these two periods in 1978, President Jimmy Carter facilitated the Camp David Peace Accord, which was a framework for lasting peace in the Middle East, at least between Egypt and Israel. Much later, the Oslo Accords of 1993, where President Clinton facilitated an agreement between the Palestinians and Israelis that resulted in a peace treaty with Jordan and Israel. Obviously, there is much more to be done. Israelis, Palestinians, and many others do not live in peace today. Our work to honor those who have served for the purpose of peace is not complete. We must redouble our determination to make peace a reality and the norm of human existence. As I said, my father served as a Navy chaplain, supporting Navy and Marines. When assigned at sea, normally to a large ship, he would provide worship services to the men at sea. To do so for all ships in company would require him to go to each ship. With the advent of the helicopter, this meant the chaplain would take short flights from ship to ship. Now, most ships have a place for helos to land, but not so back then. With the holy helo hovering over the ship, he would slip into a harness called a horse collar and exit the helicopter to be lowered on a cable down to the ship. Imagine dangling and swinging, the wind and the noise, so many chances for injury or worse. A true testament to his faith and determination to serve. I cannot imagine doing it, but I can truly empathize with his joy and relief each time he was brought down safely on each ship. His gratitude for each person doing their job correctly to ensure his safety. The pilot of the helicopter, the ship's engineers and helmsmen, and especially that important sailor to grab and steady him safely on deck. This was one simple story of duty and sacrifice made for the support and benefit of others. It wasn't about shots fired or terrific rescues, but it was in its own way heroic and a service to others. And so, in closing, with an emphasis on peace, to honor those who have served and those serving today, please join me in our saying, in honor of your service, we are dedicated to peace. Thank you.